Iron and Customs. I'm Michael, and y'all have caught me again on a day carrying the trash off to the dump, and we're back at it with another WTF Wednesday. So the topic I have this week is back during the earlier part of the year, and actually I think it was January, the last week of January, and I want to say our first February daily video was on my 54 Ford Victoria Skyline. Now, whether it's an actual Skyliner or not, that's up for debate. We'll have to get into that when we get back to working on that car. So, if it is an actual Skyliner, there was only 12,000 of those cars made. It was built in 1954. It has the first year Y block, which is a 239 Y block, and the last year of the flathead was 239 cubic inches. But the Y block has a shorter stroke and a bigger bore. And I'm gonna tell you what, when we talk about engines, when I talk about engines, shorter stroke and bigger bore, I get excited over that. To me, I mean, the shorter stroke you got, the more you can turn it. Of course, you know, we're talking about a 239 cubic inch V8. But I'll post that video that where we got the engine running in it right here. You know, the thing runs really good. But I got to thinking the other day about, you know, what if I need parts to fix that engine? And it's really hard to find parts for it. Supposedly, so far as the Y blocks goes, 54 is kind of is right by itself. It's a 1-year engine. The 239 Y block is a 1-year engine. After that, I think they went to a 272 and a 292 and eventually to a 312. And then even in the 60s, I think there were some updates to the block that made, you know, it a better engine later on in the 60s. And I don't think that they put it in anything after 64 or 66. I'm not sure on those numbers, guys. But I do know it went from, you know, the early mid 50s to the mid 60s is the entire run of the Y block. So the thing is I got looking for parts, pistons, rings, a gasket set, you know, just while I'm working on it later on this year. I may want to pull the engine out and freshen it up a bit, you know, because it was stuck, you know, so we know there's probably rust in the cylinders. Of course, the rings have probably cleared most of that rust out by now, or, you know, it wasn't stuck bad. I actually broke it by hand, so I'm not even sure, you know, if it had any rust in it. It may be an extremely small amount. But my question is what do you do when you got a 1-year engine, or, you know, something that's super rare, a car that they only sold a few thousand of in the US or a few thousand worldwide? What do you do? I would like to keep the 239 in there, but you know, there's a bunch of parts for that engine that don't cross to any of the other Y blocks, and none of them cross to anything, the Windsors or the FEs or anything else. I did see one post in a forum about pistons for a 6-cylinder, and I need to look that up and see that would actually fit that engine. So, you know, there is that. And I did find a rebuild kit for it. It's like $2,000 with pistons, and they didn't even show the, you know, variation in size. I'm sure if we rebuild it, we're going to have to go overboard on it, because that car did run, or the last time it was on the road was in the 70s, so we figure it was probably on the road for at least 20 years of its life. So, I mean, it definitely probably needs to be overboard. I mean, it really depends on how many miles we're actually on it. So what is it? What do? Do you repower? What I would like to do is I'd like to keep the original motor in it, but if that's not a possibility, I would like to seriously consider going to like a 312, and those are supposedly really hard to find now, or a 292 or a 274 Y block, but I want to stay with a Y block. Well, but I want to hear, what would y'all do? What would you do? I know there's a couple of guys that watch my videos. Mike, I know he's got his fat fender 47 Ford, and it's got a small block in it, a small block Chevy, and Gary at Gary's Car Stuff has a small block Chevy in his 40 Ford. So what would y'all do? Anyway, that's it on this one. I'll catch y'all next time.